All right, today we're cracking the code on a personality type that's just packed with incredible memory, persistence, and this amazing physical drive. We're talking about the Sensing Introvert, or SI, based on the STIFIn concept. So let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you just remember everything? Like facts, figures, little details? Are you always the last one standing, the one who just keeps going when everyone else is ready to quit? Well, if that's ringing a bell, you might just be a sensing introvert. So what is a sensing introvert, really? Well, think of it like this. Their intelligence is all about the five senses, what they can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. But here's the kicker. All that information gets processed deep inside first, and that creates this powerful internal engine that drives them to act. It's all about inside-out motivation. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the SI's basic code, their neurological wiring. Then we'll check out their physical blueprint. After that, we'll dive deep into their 10 core commandments. This part is huge. We'll look at their superpowers and contradictions, figure out their life's mission, and then wrap it all up with a practical user manual. First up, the code. Let's get right to the source and unpack the neurological operating system that makes the SI tick. The command center for the SI is located in the left limbic part of the brain. To get really specific, it's the inner white layer that acts as their engine. This part of the brain is actually denser, it's packed with more cells, and this creates a kind of dynamic biorhythm that makes the SI a person who always wants to be in motion. So that's what's happening in the brain, but how does all that internal wiring actually show up in the real world? That brings us to the physical blueprint, where we can see this incredible connection between the SI mind and their muscles. Physically, you'll often find that the SI is naturally athletic, with a strong, sometimes large or boxer kind of build. They're just fantastic at gross motor skills because their muscles are literally built to store aerobic energy. But the real secret weapon? It's their myelin. That's the part of the muscle cell that stores memory. The more an SI practices something, the more valuable their myelin becomes. It's the key to mastering any physical skill. Okay, this next part is absolutely crucial. We're getting to the very heart of the SI identity. We are about to break down the 10 permanent, unchanging commandments that define this personality type for their entire life. These traits are their rock-solid foundation. First up, let's look at this incredible duo, persistence and spirit. On one hand, the SI has this unbelievable natural stamina. They are built to last. But on the other hand, they have this dynamic, spirited inner drive that's constantly pushing them forward. It's like having the endurance of a marathon runner and the explosive energy of a sprinter all in one package. And get this, next you've got this wild combo of being both detailed and encyclopedic. The Civ has this laser focus, an eye for the tiniest specifics that most of us would miss. But at the exact same time, they have this massive capacity to just absorb and store huge amounts of information, almost like a walking encyclopedia. Now, think about their input and output system. On the input side, they are like a human recorder, just passively absorbing and remembering pretty much everything around them. But they don't just let that information sit there. On the output side, they are total workaholics, actively channeling all that stored energy into getting things done. Structure is another huge piece of the puzzle for them. They are naturally disciplined, with this built-in sense of order and process. And that is perfectly paired with being timeful, which means having a deep respect for time and schedules. This is what makes them so incredibly reliable and methodical in pretty much everything they do. And for our last pair, we have this really interesting balance, being careful and indifferent. The SI will approach tasks with a cautious, methodical mindset, thinking through every single step. And yet, they can also maintain this objective, sometimes even indifferent, emotional distance. And that allows them to focus purely on the facts without getting sidetracked by feelings. Okay, so we've got those 10 core traits. Now, let's see what happens when you put them all together. This is where we get into their amazing superpowers and some really fascinating internal contradictions. So what is the SI's number one superpower? It is, without a doubt, their memory quotient, or MQ. Their ability to recall facts, figures, experiences, and tiny details is just on another level. It surpasses all other personality types. It really is their signature strength. But their powers definitely don't stop with memory. They are also incredibly efficient, always focused on getting the most output for their input. They're also extremely frugal,
really careful with resources. And when it comes to helping people, they're the first to roll up their sleeves and offer physical help rather than just writing a check.
But, and this is a big but, here's where it gets really interesting. The Psi is full of what the source material calls diametral sides, these built-in contradictions that are just part of who they are. They can be overflowing with ambition, yet get discouraged pretty easily. They can be a super confident performer on stage, but privately, they're prone to anxiety. They're usually fact-based and chronological, but sometimes they can become totally unpredictable, like a wild ball. It's a constant internal push and pull.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's actually pretty simple. The key for the Psi is to just focus on their strengths. The idea is that when they really lean into what they do best, their memory, their persistence, their efficiency, those inherent weaknesses and contradictions tend to just balance themselves out naturally.
All of this leads us to their life's mission. You see, the Sing has this natural chemistry with Harbuta, which basically means treasure or wealth. But to get there, they need to find their Panggong, their stage, a place where they can really showcase their incredible talents.
So how do they do it? There's basically a 4-step playbook for an SI to unlock their full potential. Step 1, seek out your stage. It could be in business, sports, the arts, whatever. Step 2, showcase your skills for everyone to see. Step 3, use those skills to go after the treasure. And finally, Step 4, once you find success, increase the volume and scale it up.
And that brings us to our final section, the user manual. This is the practical, hands-on advice for any sensing introvert out there, with some clear tips on how you learn best and where you can really apply your unique talents in a career. So if you're an SI, listen up. For you, learning is a physical act. The best strategies are all about repetition, using visual aids, and lots of hands-on practice. Seriously, don't just sit and study. Learn while you're moving. And this is so important. Find a real-life sparring partner. An SI is fired up by tangible competition, not some imaginary goal. Now, when it comes to your career, you're going to thrive in industries like finance, language, transportation, commerce, and entertainment. But whatever field you're considering, your choice should really be guided by these 4 key words. Ask yourself, does this job involve manginget or remembering? Does it use my thought, my muscle? Does it reward rajin, my diligence? And finally, do I feel turgudak? Do I feel truly motivated to do it? So, there you have it, the complete blueprint of the sensing introvert, from their brain's operating system all the way to their path to success. I guess the only question left for every sensing introvert listening is, now that you know your unique design, what stage are you gonna build?